Hello, today we are going to reveal what is in jar number 3 of our PG items. This is peach jam. So if you love jam, we do, peach jam might be the one for you if you have half a dozen peaches or so. Pretty easy recipe. We use Pomona's pectin to make this, and you can use a variety of fruit to make jam. All very similar process. The package inside the Pomona's pectin has the recipes for cherry, grape, peach, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, all kinds of jams. So it should be pretty easy if you decide you want to do that, and use the low sugar pectin. And we choose that because we want the flavor of the fruit to shine through. So today we're going to make peach jam. Enjoy! Hi, I'm Heather, and today on Spirits Freedom Farm we're going to make peach jam. Okay, we'll start off with looking at our ingredients for peach jam. One of the first things that you're going to need is a recipe. I have a couple of books here. Anytime you can, you want to make sure that you have a good modern recipe. The old-fashioned recipes, we have found some of them to not be as reliable and safe, so you want to make sure that you have a good, reliable canning recipe. A few books that we have here, these first two, Food in Jars and Preserving by the Pint, give you some options for small batch cooking. So if you have just a small amount of something and want to make a little bit of something canned, those are some good options. This bottom book is I believe the newest of the Ball canning books. It is not a bad book. It's not quite what I was expecting. It's not bad though. I was expecting more of a, here are the basic recipes for basic pickles, basic jam, basic strawberry, basic whatever. And it's not quite that. Another disappointment with that book is that many of the recipes are available online on their site, Fresh Preserving, and I will link these books as well as that site. Another site that I really like for basic recipes is pickyourown.org, and I'll link that one as well at the bottom of the blog post. This recipe that I'm making today, though, I'm going to get directly from the package of pectin that I'm using. This pectin is a low or no sugar pectin, so you don't actually have to use sugar and it will gel. But what's nice is then you don't have to overload your recipe with sugar, and you'll still be able to taste the fruit. So a recipe that might normally call for 7 cups of sugar, you can use 4 cups of sugar and still taste the fruit very well, which is nice. So today we're going to be preserving peaches. So I have that here. I have 2 cups of sugar, the pectin, peaches that I have peeled and diced up kind of small. And then the other thing that we're going to need is some canning equipment. Because we are doing a high acid food, which fruits are, and tomatoes, pickles, things like that, vinegar pickles, those are high acid foods if you're using a good recipe, and you can use a simple water bath canner for that. If you're going to be preserving green beans, carrots, meat, those will require a pressure canner. So make sure that you do it properly for the safety of you and your family. Okay, so with our water bath canner, inside there is a rack right here. We also have a cat that likes to be very helpful. Keep your tail out of the peaches. So we have a rack that's to help keep the jars from clanging together. And a funnel. Now you can get a canning kit that will come with a plastic funnel. I just use it so much. I really like the metal funnel. I use it for a lot of things other than canning. Of course, jars. A ladle for ladling into the funnel and into the jar. Along with the jar, you'll need, when you buy them, they come with the lids and the rings. Okay. You cannot reuse the lids. They recommend that you do not reuse lids. So you can buy packs of these pretty inexpensively, but you can reuse these as long as they're not broken or chipped or rusty. So if you keep those in good condition, those can continue to be reused. Another thing that you'll want is a jar grabber. This helps to get the jars in and out of the hot water, the boiling water bath, without burning yourself. So you can grab the jar with that and to place it in and out of the canner. One other thing that I find handy is this little magnetic guy. It helps to pull the lids out of the hot water before you can. So what you want to do, they used to say that you should boil your lids and jars before canning. Now they say if you're going to process or have it in the boiling water, process it for at least 10 minutes, then you don't need to sanitize your jars. And they recommend just keeping them in hot water so that they don't break when you ladle hot liquid into them. And the lids also, just keep them hot so that the rubber ring on the inside will stay pliable. If you use the lid, you can't reuse it again. But if all you did was get it hot, not boiling but hot, then you can reuse it again if you don't, you can use it fresh if you don't actually put it on the jar. So that can be used again. Okay, so those are our ingredients. So let's get cooking. The pectin that I purchased is activated by calcium. So they provide you with a little bit of calcium powder that you mix into water and add the appropriate amount according to the directions for the kind of jam that you're making. So this called for 4 teaspoons. So put 4 teaspoons in there into my chopped peaches that had a 1/4 cup of lemon juice added so they don't brown. And also the lemon juice does help activate pectin so that it will gel. Okay, I have mixed the pectin. I needed 3 teaspoons of pectin. I have mixed that with just a little bit of sugar, and that will help it to dissolve and not clump up into the jam. Otherwise it takes a little longer for it to dissolve in there. So once it's dissolved, I will add the remaining of the sugar, but this is just the first part. I'm going to add the remaining of the 2 cups of sugar to this jam. And then we are going to bring it to a full boil that can't be stirred away. And it will be ready for the hot jars. You want a 1/4 inch headspace on this. The threads of these jars are about 3/4 of an inch. So if you work it to about 1/2 to 2/3 of the way up those threads, you'll have your 1/4 inch headspace. And one thing I did forget to mention was before you put the lids on to make sure the rim and the threads of the jars are clean, so you can just wipe those with a damp cloth before you put the lids on. And then you put your ring on, finger tight, so that's until it turns on its own. We've made 5 half-pint jars of our peach jam. So we're going to put these in here. We brought the water to a boil. As soon as it comes back to a boil, we'll count 10 minutes and we will pull them out. Okay, these have been boiling for 10 minutes. So we're pulling them out now, and we're going to set them out to cool to room temperature and listen for the telltale ping, which I think we just heard one very quietly in the background. There we go. And when these are at room temperature, we'll be able to store them away and eat them in a month, a year, whenever.
Please visit the blog post linked in the video description below for more information about this video and the supplies used.